Kaine. 私の名前だ。
Yo, what's good, y'all? Lad here. It's finally here. The long-awaited collaboration and the end of me telling you to save your rupees. Well, for now, that is. She's here and she's near. Kaine of the Power Faction and hailing from the Near series is finally here to join us. She's a light thief and is the perfect candidate for what we want to see in a DPS. With her introduction, we'll be entering a new meta of DPS. Let's go ahead and check her out. Her VA is the all-legendary Atsuko Tanaka. She sadly passed away last year, but her work will always be remembered. From Kaine to Bayonetta, Onan from Naruto, and Flame from Frieren. Those are just a few that I know about. Let us pay our respects to a phenomenal voice actress, and then head on over to Kaine's notable damaging skills. The first ability is an SP cost of 82. It's a 3-hit AoE dagger damage attack. Once she is 65, 3 more BP consumed, she gets a 20% attack and crit up for 2 turns, and with 5 or more, it gets increased to 5 turns. Her second ability is an SP cost of 73 to 58. It's a 3-hit to 8-hit single target dagger damage, exploits light, depending on the boost level. At level 1, it's a 3-hit at 85 potency. Level 2, 4 hits at 75 potency. Level 3, 6 hits with 50 potency, and with 4 more BP consumed, it's an 8-hit with a 90 potency. Your third ability is an SP cost of 76. It's a 5-hit random target dagger damage attack, with low chance for dagger resist down by 20% per hit for 2 turns, and at 3 or more BP consumed, this has a moderate chance, and at 5 or more BP consumed, this has a high chance. Lastly, for her nuke attack, it's a SP cost of 62. It's a 2-hit single target dagger damage attack, potency 135. With 3 or more BP consumed, this is a guaranteed crit. With 5 or more BP consumed, she gets a 50,000 damage cap up to this ability. For her EX skill, after getting attacked 5 times and 1 usage per battle, it's an 8-hit random target dagger damage attack, potency of 30. With 3 or more BP consumed, that's a guaranteed crit. With 5 or more BP consumed, this becomes a 10-hitter. For her ultimate, at level 1 to level 10, she gives herself a physical attack up of 10% at level 1, and this becomes 15% at level 10, and the turn duration becomes 3 to 4 at level 10. She also gives herself a buff called the Fighting Spirit. Again, the turn duration gets increased to 4 at level 10. The Fighting Spirit buff allows the Traveler to use BP without consuming them. Next, for her notable support skills, her first one is a SP cost of 47 to 38. It's a taunt to all enemies and counters physical and elemental attacks 3 to 8 turns. It's a 1-hit dagger damage attack that exploits light, once 180, and she also recovers 1 BP for herself. Her second support skill is her TP skill. It's a 112 SP cost. She gives herself a physical attack up of 50% and a 1 BP recovery 3 to 8 turns, depending on the boost level. Next, we have her passives. For her first one, she gives herself a 15% physical attack up, and her boost level is enhanced from level 2, level 4, and level 6, similar to Sazantos. For her second passive, if she uses 3 more BP, she gets a 100% potency up to that skill, and at 6 stars, this becomes a 120 potency up. And if she consumes 5 BP, she gets a 100,000 damage cap up to that skill. Her third passive, she increases her self-physical attack limit from both active and passive to 50%. And then she has a 10% in light resistance and 20 in dark. Taking a look at her stats here, she has the highest physical attack stat in the entire server. At level 120 with a whopping 573. Her speed is incredibly low, and she has one of the lower speeds in the thief category at 395 at level 120. At 395 at level 120. She'll most likely be acting towards the end of the action order. Watch out for that. Her other stats are somewhat similar to the other thieves. So now, should you pull? She will be our first new generation DPS Traveler and will be extremely strong. I would suggest pulling for her only if you'll be pulling for Tiziano as well. They'll be coming out soon within the next month. So a quick disclaimer to those who already know about the future. In about 3 months from now, we'll be getting another DPS that also destroys anything, but now by himself. Kaine, on the other hand, acquires Tiziano, who implants dagger weaknesses. This might not be your playstyle, having both Kaine and Tiziano in your team always. If that's the case, then this could be a potential skip for you, but I want you to recall that this is a gacha game. The next DPS Traveler from this point on will only get stronger to compensate for the last. I don't want you to end up constantly waiting on the next DPS Traveler, and the next, and the next. All of us play this game differently, and the decision is yours to make. Now anyways, onto Kaine. She gets an innate 50% to active and passive buffs, and a 120 potency up to any of her skills when she consumes more than 3 BP. This by itself is both Agnia's EX skill, and a better version of Solin's ultimate all in one. That is incredibly awesome. Her ultimate, if you choose to pull for her, is something that you should try to get to level 10 if you could, as it gives her that buff where she's able to use all her BP while consuming any of it for up to 4 turns. Although I would prioritize getting her to A1 first, as she functions as a straight DPS. Next, her abilities. She has an 8 hit that hits both daggers and light if you consume all her BP. Her 5 hit dagger attack lowers dagger resist by 20% for each hit. This means you'll almost never run out of the dagger resist debuffs as she procs them all. Then for her support skill, she has a taunt where she can counter any attack with a 1-hit dagger attack that exploits light. This has a potency of 120 and recovers 1 BP for herself, which then sets her up for her EX skill, which if you recall, requires her to get hit 5 times. Nextly, we have our A4 accessory. It's a whopping 200 to physical attack, minus 30 to physical defense and elemental defense. This gives the equipped character a 100% to their ultimate gauge from the start, and more importantly, a 30% physical attack up when that traveler consumes 3 or more BP. That last passive is pretty good. This is a passive attack up. With this equipped, the equipped traveler will be capped in passive and equipment attack buffs at 30%. This could be used for your secondary DPS, or even on Kaine if you're missing out on other travelers or A4 accessories. As we move further into the COTC, we'll start to see more characters with the increased 50% attack buff, so while this accessory is great to have, this is still very much a premium A4 accessory, as recall that these collaboration travelers will not have their awakening stones in the exchange. So with that, her A4 accessory is good, but not as good as Nier's. Then for the best aspect for Kaine, when she's using her ultimate, she is the only traveler in COTC that won't get bleeped just because of the fact that she's soaring. That by itself should be enough of a reason to pull for her. And of course, again, she is still the official start of the new meta DPS and can carry new players, as she sustains herself quite well for buffs and debuffs. Now moving on, longevity. She's still being used on JP side. When she was introduced, she was so strong that the developers had to think of other ways to have people pull for newer travelers, so they gave a good number of upcoming bosses immunity to being inflicted with weakness implants. With her introduction, there's gonna be lots of mixed thoughts about this game, as it's gonna be OCTOPATH, continent of the Kaine. Everyone and their mother had a Kaine and Tiziano in the JP side. Her damage was quite overwhelming that people started to complain that the game had become bland. So now we as the global side and the C server are about to find out. But also recall that again from before, we'll only be seeing more overpowered DPS traveler now that Kaine is out. Let's go ahead and finish up. Character design 10 out of 5. I had just recently finished my first playthrough of the Nier Replicant remake, and I gotta say I'm a fan. Her clothes that she has on is a light shade of blue, and my favorite color is blue. But other than her clothes, the most defining feature about her is the lunar tear that she has on her hair. Such a nice touch for the ladies. Next, her voice actress, 5 out of 5. Atsuko Tanaka will be forever our JP dubbed Kaine. Abilities 4.5 out of 5. She is the start of the Kaine meta. She'll destroy anything and everything that is weak to daggers, and once Tiziano comes out, this becomes even more apparent. He pairs alongside her like a glove. Once this happens, this game becomes Kaine's OCTOPATH. Longevity 4 out of 5. Anything weak to daggers will now see the gates of Horsa. Even if a free-to-play Kaine at Awakening 0, she's still going to do crazy amounts of damage, but the only downside of Kaine is the fact that she needs to be paired along with other travelers who enable her to also hit dagger weaknesses if they aren't already. Global buff 0 out of 5. She's quite good enough already. Overall impression, Kaine of the continent. She's a step ahead of all our DPS. Once Tiziano comes out and enables dagger damage for her, she's gonna clap some cheeks. She alone stands at the very top of this game as the current best DPS of right now. Of course, as it's a gacha game, DPS travelers will have their time to shine, but right now she is the baseline of what we expect a top tier DPS traveler to be capable of. I'm gonna wail quite a bit for this collab. A wise man once said, I just really like girls. That has been my life motto ever since. This is one character that you might not want to miss out on. Perhaps you might think she's overrated, and that's fine. Everyone's got their own reasons, but to everyone else who's been following me, I've made too many references to her. Now is one of those times where you can stop saving rubies and pull if you like what she brings to the table. Let me know if you're pulling for her. She's a long-awaited character and she's great. But don't put yourself in a sticky situation to get her. This is after all a game. Your health and livelihood comes first. If she doesn't come home for you, it's not the end of the world. And I hope that everyone who watches this video gets a Kaine on the free 10 times pull. So with that, like always, take care of yourself. I'll catch you in the next video. That out.